everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Michael Damiani.
How's it going?
Michael Huber.
Wolverine Extended Cut.
Brandon Jones.
Pretty good. Thanks for asking.
And making all of this happen, Ian Hink.
Lord of the Rings Two Towers Extended Cut.
Yeah,
You beat me on length.
Wow. Ian wins. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week. So, Glenny's Cauldron again is done. Ended with E3. I want to remind everybody to check out the Glenny's Cauldron Jam. It's on itch.io. It's easiest just to Google it than finding it on itch.io. We have over 50 people who are participating already.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get 50 games. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier to say like, hey, I'll have it done by the end of the month. You know what I mean? But I'm super stoked to have even 50. That's crazy.
There was a part of me that was hoping you get none.
Yeah.
Because when you first brought this up, I'm like, is that how it works?
Yeah, I know.
If you have a podcast, can people just make games for you? Like, what? Mm-hmm. You don't deserve that.
And here's a beautiful thing. There's actually like a message board attached to it, Jones, and like people are like, hey, I can do voice acting. Hey, I can do music.
Wow.
Hey, I can do this and this.
Yeah.
Like,
It's gonna be so good.
I think
I am thrilled. Yeah,
Yes.
does not speak at all to the quality that I think these games will have.
Right.
I'm floored at the interest.
Can other people
Tingling.
make Carcerar's game?
Oh yeah, you get to pick whether you want to make Glenny's game or Carcerar's game, which is pretty cool. So instead, we have a new opening segment. It is the Desire Index. So far, we have 2 games in the Desire Index. This is, of course, the ranking in which Easy Allies desires future games.
Yeah.
Kyle, did
Simple.
you see we had a recent exit survey? Yeah. Did you
Tell
see
everybody
this?
what it said. Tell everybody what it said.
It just said-
On Patreon.
Yes.
Exit surveys are when someone leaves Patreon. They can give us a reason for why they
Stop giving us money.
forsook us.
Yeah.
This one just said Desire Index.
In lowercase, no punctuation.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're losing us money, Kyle.
To be
No,
fair,
no.
we did kill it.
There were-
and you said it was official forever.
It's
dead.
season 2, baby. There were a lot of
Season 1 was dead.
Bends it to his will.
There were a lot of people. I got a lot of comments that said thank you for bringing the Desire Index back.
Those were all paid representatives of Kyle Bossman.
I'm
Incorporated.
like, even if they don't give us a cent, I'm like happy to make them happy, you know? I'll take the loss. Here's what's in Glenny's Cauldron so far. Sorry. Not Glenny's Cauldron. That's sealed. The Desire Index so far.
Where are we going?
Number 1 is Cyberpunk 2077. Number 2 is Doom Eternal. Okay, so this week we must add 1 game.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
It is
Obviously.
The Last of Us Part 2. Where's it go?
You're talking.
Where's it go?
That's you, Huber.
Where's it go?
Huber, where's it going?
Where's it go?
Dropping bombs. Number 1.
Yeah.
It's number 1.
Is it number 1?
Easily number 1.
Jones, is it
Easily.
number 1?
It's not even a question.
That's a hard question. I need more time. That's a tough one to answer that quickly.
All we have is we don't have time. I mean,
I know.
all we have is no time.
I can't with Cyberpunk. I put it ahead of Doom, but ooh. Yeah,
Cyberpunk's still number 1.
I'd put it number 2.
Damiani, where does that fit?
Just the possibilities, man. Ugh.
I feel like when that marketing machine starts ramping up for that Last of Us 2, tides are gonna change real fast.
Real quick, dude. Real quick. Oh, yeah.
Damiani, make your point clear. Where are you sliding this in?
Oh, number 1.
Oh,
Yeah. It's good. Like right now, you could make a case. Oh, Cyberpunk is the one everyone's most impressed with. Had a presence at E3. Yo, Sony didn't show up. Last of Us 2 can't do anything about that. If it was there, might be a different story. I can see the alternate timeline. Doctor Stranging it right now. I see it.
Jones is displeased. Listeners, imagine a sarcastic smile is what Jones was giving Damiani. Ian, you have input on this?
Don't make me.
Okay. Oh, we're putting it number 1. The Last of Us Part 2.
Wait,
number
no.
1.
I'll advocate for Doom.
Yeah.
Doom
okay.
number 1.
Oh, okay. Because I thought you'd say Cyberpunk and then Bossman would be the...
I mean, yeah,
I'm not part of
Cyberpunk.
this.
Cyberpunk, I desire more than the other 2, I suppose.
So you're the decider, Kyle.
We're split?
We're split.
By Cyberpunk, you're number 2 now. Okay, so we'll come back to that list next week.
3 good games though, man.
I know.
2 games last week, 1 game this week. What?
Yeah, what's the
We
deal?
had to start with 2. I don't want a list of 1 game.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of games though.
So no, it'll be.
I
one
feel shortchanged.
It'll be 1 game every week.
Okay.
I feel cheated.
Why? Oh, that I put you in that hard spot?
No,
That's the point, dude.
we want another game.
Give us
us
fourth
one
game,
more.
Kyle.
This podcast is we're
Yeah.
6
Yeah,
minutes in.
let's
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Next week.
Okay. Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Madden 19, where's it going? Madden 20, Madden 20, where's it going?
Where's the league under
Yeah.
desiring?
Number four.
Number 4, really?
Number
Yeah.
4.
Okay, all right. So Madden 20 is officially added to the list.
Perfect.
Time
Thank
for
you.
corrections. Begin corrections music, please. Daniel Bloodworth won the Death Stranding bet, not Michael Damiani, and corrections music.
Oh.
Oh.
What was that?
That was the only correction?
Well, we were live, and so I feel like, hey, get it in live. If we're doing a live podcast, get your corrections in live. But I couldn't let that point sit. It would mess up everything that Kev Board Arts does. So like we had to set it straight.
True.
Can people send in corrections on this episode for that last episode?
Yes, they could.
Good.
They definitely
I just
could.
if there's anything really atrocious, I want to clear it up.
Yeah,
Nice.
please. So this week is our post E3 week. I have a bunch of segments. This thing is chock full of segments. We're gonna start with a segment called Nintendo's Drops of Sunshine. We're gonna move on to a segment called While You Were E3ing. After that, what is that one? Beat Piscatella, and then we'll do Love and Respect. That's what we got.
Physically?
Yes. Come on in, Matt. Okay, so what was our first one? Nintendo's Drops of Sunshine. Okay, so we didn't get to cover Nintendo news on last week's E3 podcast. So what I want to do with this segment is every Nintendo announcement is a drop of sunshine, right? We watch that Nintendo Direct, just blop, 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 sunshine drops, right? What I want to know from the panel here 1 week later is if it's still glowing or it faded. So I'm going to give you one of the things that was announced, and then I need you to say, it's still glowing, or
Gotcha.
it faded.
Okay.
All right. Contra Rogue Core.
Faded immediately.
Faded into obscurity.
It never shown.
I feel more excited for that game now than I did last week.
The light bulb exploded.
Okay, all right. Breath of the Wild sequel.
Oh, still glowing, baby.
How do you?
Are you still glowing?
Supernova.
Burning bright.
Okay, because
I've had some criticisms about that
Pulsar.
trailer, just how it was presented, but like, am I excited for that? Chills.
I
But it's ki-
generally wanted to check in with everybody because it's an announcement that hits hard, but I feel like a week later it's like, okay.
It's a little bit Elder Scrolls 6-y for me, where it's
Yeah.
just like I don't want to think about it too much
Yeah.
because there's just so much happening within weeks and months, coming at us in 2019. So it's just kind of like, okay, even Cyberpunk. Like I got to really reserve my excitement, for things that like we, have been dated September, October, November, even the beginning of 2020. March is just blowing up. Oh man, I mean, give it to me now, please.
Okay.
Ditto.
That drop is still glowing. And by the way, I have this in the podcast. If this podcast is your primary source of news, I didn't want people to not know that there was a Breath of the Wild sequel announced.
Yes.
But however, to you, this person who goes to us for news every week, we don't know much more. We know it's a direct continuation of Breath of the Wild, which is pretty cool. It looks like it takes place almost directly after the events of Breath of the Wild. So that's pretty neat. More stories to tell.
More analysis from Damiani in the coming months.
Yes, exactly. There will be more. There will be more said.
There's a little bit today.
Oh, what do you got today?
Don't remember the interview source, so I apologize on that. But I was getting tweeted it by every single person.
So you saw the headline.
It was just a
Yeah,
headline.
it was inevitable, yeah.
That it's a sequel as a direct result of they had so many unused DLC ideas. They were just coming up with so much DLC. They said, why don't we just make a sequel? Because I guess the original plan wasn't to make a direct follow-up to Breath of the Wild.
It's cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so I do wonder, Damiani, when I saw that everything is taking place beneath the castle, I was like, you didn't plan that. But I wonder if maybe if it was DLC at one point, they kind of did plan that. You think about DLC when you're making a game, and so I kind of wonder.
Yeah.
Maybe a DLC where you played as Zelda or something.
Yeah,
I don't think the DLC had the castle rising up like that, though.
sure.
Yeah, that's too extreme. That's a big deal.
It's not that extreme.
That's a big deal.
Okay, we got another, drop of sunshine. Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Sure. Yeah.
Is it still glowing?
Twinkling. Sure. Yeah. Again, it's advertising versus it's marketing versus perception versus reality. My reality of Animal Crossing, I'm very pleased. I'm very looking forward to that project. I like what I saw. I think things will be good. From just what I saw at the show, kind of weird.
It's
weird trailer.
You're on an island. You
yeah.
don't have this whole town anymore. You have an island.
Yeah, but they didn't say definitively we're not going to have the town. So it's
Oh.
just like, am I in a tent forever? Do I just get better tents? Or
Starting zone.
You
You think so?
It seemed that's the thing. It seemed the trailer that they showed in the direct before they got into the treehouse stuff, which I did see, good, like delicious 27 minutes of juicy stuff.
Delicious.
But at the end of that trailer, you have all 8 multiplayer people walking to the edge of the beach. You're like looking out.
Oh, yeah.
New Horizons, the title. So it's like,
Okay.
okay, like you're
Okay.
really,
Yeah.
telegraphing here that like you're gonna get on a boat and you're gonna take off. Going on a boat to another location is something we did on 3DS. So it's like I would assume there's some other place we can go.
Sure.
But it was weird to get the bare bones initial stuff. Like you can craft a log bench. Like cool. What else? And like that's all we're saying at E3. Like log bench. Got it.
In the 3DS one, could you customize like your cabin on the ship?
No. It was
that
just
was Cappy's ship.
it was Cappy's like rowboat. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, even so,
This
like
one.
I'm so hungry for those little Animal Crossing details. Even them just saying like you can move objects a half block is like yeah. So
Okay.
again, it's
That's
like
glowing to me. That means it's
there's
glowing.
how I want how good I want this advertising to be versus what I am
Yeah.
anticipating. My anticipation's doing pretty good, glowing pretty well.
Like also worth noting that it was delayed till 2020. Was it March 2020?
Yep.
Yeah. So that is another reason to support Jones's theory that there's more that they're holding back because
Yes.
they gotta advertise this game for many more months than we thought.
I would hope my new expectation now is I would hope it would at least get some 8-minute solo direct. There would be some Animal Crossing
coming,
direct.
dude. You
You
got
see
it.
things like Pokemon and some of this other stuff get that attention. Like, please, that'd be nice.
Panzer Dragoon remake.
Yeah, I think it's glowing because it started from nothing. This was not something I think a lot of people anticipated. This came out of nowhere.
Yeah. I normally don't put remakes in this kind of thing, but like I'm super stoked about this.
Yeah.
And is it exclusive to Switch?
I don't believe so. I could check on that.
But what a great Switch game. What a fun, on rails but flying around blowing stuff up. Repeatedly going back and through missions, be like, I know I can do that just a little bit better. Yeah, kind of like Sayonara Wild Hearts kind of reminds me of the same thing where it's just like, whoa, that level flew by so fast. I want to go through and, target everybody.
Yeah, I'll finally get to play this and enjoy it. I always get them mixed up. This was the one on Saturn originally.
Saturn.
So is this one really hard to get as well as a lot of other Saturn games in English and costs a lot of money?
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go. Okay.
I
there
think
we
Saga
go.
might be the hardest, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the easiest one I think is Orta because that came out like
that's an Xbox game.
yeah, 'cause
Xbox.
It was the
Yeah.
Xbox. It was the more recent one.
So this is funny. Polygon had the scoop way back in
Oh.
December. December of last year. They're like, hey, Panzer Dragoon remake's coming. So they had that. They knew it was coming out this year. That's really funny. But it seems like it is for just Switch right now.
Sweet.
It's interesting
Nice.
those leaks that are just like too boring to even pay attention to. You know what I mean? There's like it's a
horrible.
legit leak, but it just gets
Yeah.
lost because you're like, yeah, we heard that. Because can you imagine being that one guy that's like, no, Half-Life 3 is really happening? It's like,
Yeah.
shut up, like the leaker who cried wolf, just like go get back in the cabin. But like
That's so
Keanu
good.
apparently, like there were a couple people that were like, hey, Keanu in Cyberpunk, and like what?
Yeah.
Okay,
Not see
Dan.
that.
Yeah, I didn't see
Glad
that.
And then
you
Dan
got
shows
that
up at the amounts. I told you. No, you didn't, Dan. Shut up. We're all enjoying it now.
Dan. I was right.
I've decided for E3 2020, I'm going full blackout offline for like a month and a half before it's going down.
No, I don't
Yeah.
want
Even
my
before the
pre-show.
press conference. He's
Yeah, I
not,
don't
he's
want
not
my
even in the
pre-show
pre-show.
for doing that,
No,
yeah.
he just slides in right. What did I miss?
Yep. It's going down.
Trials of Mana. Are we a Mana family? I think we are. I think we discussed this before. I think we're a Mana family.
Oh, Mana. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Trials
think
of Mana.
I think I botched that like 5 times today. Yeah.
Yeah. Today.
There were 2 of them, right?
So there's
One of them looked awesome.
Well, Trials,
Is the
they're,
one that
they're
looked
doing a
awesome.
Okay,
remake
yeah,
of
yeah.
Trials, and there's a collection which includes OG version,
Yeah.
it localized for the first time.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is another remake, like on the Panzer Dragoon scale. Like it's just it's 3D. We got nice looking 3D models now. Beautiful colors. What a world. Is that a glowing sun drop, or are we just kind of like?
It makes me happy.
Yeah,
Just
it's
kind of
glowing.
knowing
It's glowing.
when you have the remake and the original packaged together in the same direct. Yeah.
No more Heroes 3.
That's
Yeah.
good vibes.
No more Heroes 3 was announced.
Yeah.
Weird trailer. No gameplay shown. Just
Yeah.
like a Travis touchdown reveal, basically.
After the last one and the way this one was announced,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I have to say we're faded.
Oh, last one, you mean that last game?
Yeah.
Not 2. You
Yeah.
mean that, I forget what
Travis
it's called.
Strikes Again.
Travis Strikes
Travis
Again.
Okay.
After Travis Strikes Again and this flat
That's fair.
announcement.
Something's
fair.
got to fade.
You know what? It's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the tides may change.
The tides may change. Hey, New Horizons, Banjo-Kazooie, and Dragon Quest Hero for Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
glowing.
Yeah.
Glowing.
Is that glowing still?
A shiny future.
Could guide you through the darkest of caves.
So you're still feeling warmth from these announcements?
oh boy.
Like I just want dates, like hard dates at this point.
Yeah.
Just want to know when we're going to play.
I just want, a 10-second loop of literally just what are they called? Just the puzzle piece, boing, like bouncing in.
Jiggies.
That's
and
a
Ben,
jiggy.
they're doing it. I just literally just want the boing, they're doing it. Just again, like
Yeah.
looped.
They're doing it.
Just knowing for a fact that it's actually happening. Because it's crazy. It's like you hear about these things and you think, again, like I played Banjo-Kazooie, but I'm not like the hugest Banjo fan. And again, I'm like awful at Smash Brothers. But like that, if you were just to grab me on the street and be like, what do you think are the craziest things that they could do?
Yeah.
And this is actually interesting because at the Game Awards, Reggie said, we have more announcements to make and they're not what you expect. This is definitely what people expect.
Yeah.
I even think Dragon Quest is like not that far outside of
Heavily rumored.
and
too.
understanding.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's interesting that like he was, I don't know if he was screwing with us or that fourth one's really going to be, how many do we have left? Two?
We have
Two?
two more to
left.
be
Or
announced.
those are going to be just really crazy?
Well,
Or
2 is pretty surprising.
oh yeah,
Does that count?
no.
Are
I
you
know.
talking
I
Reggie?
mean Smash characters
Oh,
specifically.
okay.
After Joker, he said,
said we're just getting
the next
started, baby.
ones are going
Got
to
it.
be
Yeah.
not what people expect.
Yeah.
And this one especially seemed, and especially with how they advertise it, you could tell they were like,
Back at
are we going to do it?
Back at that time, though, there was some discussion that interview came out where Sakurai, it was attributed to Sakurai that he said Nintendo executives above him picked the final roster.
Right.
And there was some concern that it was going to be, they're going to pick ones that promote future Nintendo games.
Yep.
And Joker, like we might get one exciting one. So people are like, Joker, that's it. That's really awesome. But now we're getting like 3 more Fire Emblem characters. And then maybe Keeley saying that's like, hold your horses. They might all be really big deals. So, and we've seen that so far. Like more than half of them now, 3 out of 5 are not what people feared. So that's a good sign.
Got it.
Kazuma.
I would say I think Jones has a good point that they are not unexpected. So Banjo-Kazooie to me is not even that crazy. I think like I was almost prepared for it. Just like when Ben says they're doing it as opposed to what is this? This is too crazy.
Yeah.
We were feeling the vibes. Nintendo and Microsoft been vibing off each other for 8 months straight. It's just like.
Yeah, but like there's been enough. I think there's been enough doubt sown by like the rumors that didn't come to pass, especially after last year's like marathon of all these BS rumors that didn't come out to play.
It's no guarantees.
I basically
fair
took it as like I don't care that people are saying Banjo like hints ahead. I'm like I'll believe it when I see it, and even that like this had to be. The talk about how it happened, it wasn't as matter of fact as some people were making it out to be. Like they did have a working relationship, but it sounded like there's a little bit of work behind the scenes to make it happen. It wasn't automatic. So I don't take any of those for granted, honestly. And I just don't know at this point what would make you go nuts in terms of like that was so unexpected. And this was like, I mean, even at this point they threw Goku in there. We've all like joked about it. Like, we thought.
I think it's not. I think nothing would be surprising because the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
We've had so many discussions where we've just pulled every character from every medium. So, yeah.
Joker blew us up, though.
Yes.
I think we just can't predict them. We cannot say those ones that will make us blow up.
Yeah.
Sorry, one last question before we move on from Banjo-Kazooie. So, I remember when Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS was released, it had the best looking version of Mega Man I had ever seen. I was like, wow, look at Mega Man, a 3D model of Mega Man. He looks so good. Nintendo is treating Mega Man better than Capcom. Are we about to see a repeat with Banjo-Kazooie?
Yes.
We've seen his design though. What are you talking about?
I'm saying we're looking at Nintendo games and we're saying, wow, Nintendo's treating Banjo-Kazooie better than Microsoft is. Their owners.
Right?
Yes.
Then, shortly thereafter, Microsoft says, okay, we saw the response to Banjo-Kazooie. We're excited to announce
Yeah.
Banjo-Kazooie 3.
Boom.
That could.
Is that not? It's like definitely happening, right?
I don't know if it's definitely happening,
definitely
but like
It's happening.
They saw the trending tweets, dude.
Yep. They saw those reactions. It's going down.
I mean, yeah,
You think
it's
Ori
possible.
was trending?
No, but I mean, it's possible. But like, what do you say? Like, is Microsoft could make one themselves? Sure.
They're not going to. Right?
I mean, it's just as likely they turn around and go, "Hey, Nintendo, make one for yourself because we can't do anything with Banjo and stuff." Just promote our xCloud when it's on your, because that like rumor came up against like, hey, like, you know, not yet, but maybe in the future we'll put it on Switch. Hey, Nintendo, give us a good deal with that, and you know we'll give you a Banjo game and stuff. You know, let's work this deal out, make it happen.
Nintendo is not third party, dude.
No,
I would never see
no,
them making a
No,
Microsoft game for
Microsoft licenses Banjo-Kazooie to Nintendo to make an exclusive Switch Banjo-Kazooie game.
I don't see that happening. I don't see it, dude.
That would make me go, oh, that's like
Me too. Yeah.
But even like Castlevania, after you know the Belmonts were added to Smash, like we've got this amazing collection that just came out. We got Rondo
it's
of
going
Blood
down.
and Symphony of the Night, you know,
yeah.
on console. Like
They're cooking it up.
Banjo collection, the whatever, the
be
rare, what's it called? The rare collection, whatever.
We're replay.
We're replay.
That will come to Switch. There you go. That's
Oh,
what-
that was
Oh,
Ian
and he's
talking
just
at the
so
same time
sad
as
about
Hubert.
it.
Okay,
Yeah, that was really weird.
crazy.
All three of us said that.
Lastly,
Ian, that's the second time that's happened
We've done
tonight.
that twice today. Yeah.
Yes.
one more.
the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics.
I'm gonna play it.
This is a
I
Final
will
Fantasy
play it.
Tactics style Dark
I
Crystal
will
game.
play this.
Love Dark Crystal.
That to me, that means that's a glowing sun drop.
Sure.
Yeah, not as
Pretty
brightly
awesome.
as the other ones, but talk about having no expectations for
Yeah.
what this could possibly be, and given that this might be the only Dark Crystal game ever. Don't quote me on that, but like, well, I'm sure we'll get a correction next week. But like, whoa, like
I'm willing
that,
to take that. I'm willing to accept that.
it was so funny because like like my brain was so focused during this direct on like what they could possibly show, and then like they show what my brain knows is Dark Crystal, but like it just kind of short circuited for a second. We did get one
This
from Sierra Online, Roberta Williams,
Yeah, there was
the
one in
classic Roberta
1983.
Williams.
Awesome. 1984.
Rocking
baby.
this one.
That's
Sick.
pre-NES.
We
Yeah.
gotta stream that.
Yeah.
Similar
Apple
to the
II and
yeah,
Atari.
right.
looks a lot
Yeah.
like the game that Tom Hanks played in Big.
It really does.
But
Good art, actually.
But a tactics game, no less. I think that's kind of the most curious thing about it is it's not just a really, you know, like a simple platformer or, you know, just kind of like a more story focused adventure game. But like, whoa, like this, you know, not a ton of, we don't just get a lot of games in that genre, especially something like exclusively to the Switch. And it was just cool. I hope it's like, whoa, they're gonna. The marketing train for this is choo choo coming out of the station.
Yeah,
I wonder if they're going to do any
Jones,
other random things to
Exactly.
to bring people in. And before this show starts, it's interesting that like they didn't let the show happen and then drop this thing after. Now that people
It's
are
a
like,
movie,
oh, I
is it
know what
not?
Dark Crystal is.
Is it
now.
a series or a
it's
movie?
a series.
Series.
It
Oh,
originally
wow.
was
Originally
a
a
film,
movie.
Got it.
and then is now going to be a series.
So I actually got to see a panel from the Netflix like studios, the gaming studios, and their whole initiative of like, hey, like we spend so much money on things. Why we had a meeting and someone was like, can we spend money on video games? And I said yes.
Dude,
like,
the
it was
str-
like that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like
The Stranger Things game is going to be awesome.
same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
and,
looks
like actually
cool.
like there's cool stuff happening with the
Yeah.
Stranger Things game. So I expect
Yeah,
more of this.
if this
John.
is super small, like $10,
Yep.
great.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I think that could be the solution to a lot of people who are interested in marketing, you know, their other programs, you know, interactively somehow and getting something involved with games. And like, love that. Love a little just taste. Child's Play's got a VR game coming out. Like, great. You know, like,
Ooh,
perfect.
that's a good call.
You
yeah,
know?
that's a good tie-in.
Dude, a Veronica Mars game like Life is Strange. Let's go.
Whoa.
Oh, that's Hulu though. Damn it.
Step up your game, Hulu.
Damn it, Hulu.
Okay, it's time for while you were E3ing. Here's some news that I could have done in last week's podcast, but like couldn't. You know, it's
Gotcha.
just like E3 was happening. First of all, this one this was like almost like 2 weeks in a row. I was like, do I cover this? And then it's like a next headline, Dauntless, the game called Dauntless,
Dauntless.
had 10 million players at some point before E3. That was the headline. Dauntless reaches 10 million players. And like I don't know if y'all remember this. Like it had a launch trailer at the Game Awards and then another trailer at this year's Game Awards. And it's just like it's like this Monster Hunter, free-to-play Monster Hunter game. And I'm like, good luck, buddy. And now it's just like, oh yeah, we have 10 million players, buddy.
Omar plays Dauntless.
Okay, what?
Oh, there you go.
Boom.
End of conversation.
No, this is the beginning.
Omar
Omar
plays
loves Dauntless?
My
Dauntless.
roommate Omar, yeah, he loves Dauntless, and he pitches it as Monster Hunter without all the bad stuff, which
Wait,
makes
whoa,
me
whoa,
which
whoa,
makes
whoa,
me
whoa,
Omar knows how you're gonna
upset.
feel about that.
He makes
Because
me
I was explaining it the opposite way.
That's that special kind of
Shots.
salt that you only share with your roommates.
I was-
Hey,
Yeah.
Pepsi and Coke, you can choose. It doesn't matter.
I was pitched as
Well,
Monster
what's
Hunter
free, what's
minus
very much not.
some of the
yeah,
best
Monster
stuff.
Hunter without the good stuff is how I might say it. But
Yeah.
When you launch a free-to-play game, if it is really fun to play and easy to get into, and you can play with friends, and visually it stands out,
And it does. It's a good looking
you're
game. Yes.
you're in good shape.
Yeah.
And Dauntless has all that.
Here's what I
feels
also think
really
is-
good to hunt monsters.
Phoenix Labs is the name of the studio, and this is their first game. They're 3 former Riot employees. I think that's really interesting because it's not easy to go from hit to straight hit, and they already landed on a hit right here. I think that's nuts. Another crazy thing is this is an Epic Game Store exclusive. So you're doing that well on PC despite being on that store that everybody hates. It's on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, as I just said. And it has cross-save and cross-play.
and it's coming to Switch soon.
It's
And it's coming to Switch soon.
Yep.
And what this is crazy. There are only 2 other games that have PS4 crossplay. What are they, panel?
Fortnite.
Fortnite? Sorry, Ian?
And Rocket League.
Rocket League. Yep.
Oh, nice.
Does Warframe?
I was gonna say Warframe.
Warframe
Yeah.
does not. This is the 3rd game to get crossplay with PS4.
Wow.
There's something, as I'm getting older and I have less time, there's something super appealing about an online multiplayer game that is extremely fulfilling in 30 minutes to an hour.
Sure.
And this is Dauntless. You call a buddy, hang out, go on a hunt or 2. I got a lot done. I'm good.
Yeah.
So, and that's like the Fortnite model too. You know, you play a couple rounds, good to go.
Yeah.
I want to jump into this.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think that's how
Just
they get
jump
to 10
in,
mil,
Ian.
baby.
How long would it take me to catch up to you, though? That's my worry.
Not long at
with
all.
stuff like this.
I've briefly played.
I think that would be smart
Nice.
on their part, not to like tire, Monster Hunter fans coming over and being like, okay, how much time do I have to spend in this? And like, a lot. Like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I don't have time.
I think you do have to spend a lot of time to get good loot.
The
to
goods,
get good
but if
armor
you
and
just
stuff.
want to
Sure.
play
Yeah.
casually, it's very accessible in small doses.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
I think cool.
And-
I wanted to like say, hey, this game exists because
Yeah.
it's worth noting.
And
It's
interesting we
incredible.
brought up Warframe because what a fun success story that's been.
Yes.
And I have never touched Warframe, and I hold a special place. It holds a special place in my heart just because of how well it's performed, how much that community loves it. When you hear fun news come out of the cons that they do, and so it's fun to think about this game. Like even if it does take like an Apex dip right after the zeitgeist, it can stick around with fun updates. And every time they throw something out new, you're like, I can just for free jump in and
Yes.
check this
Yeah.
out. And that's what always, every time I see a Warframe trailer, it's like, why am I not
Nothing to
playing
lose.
this? Yeah.
I think as Warframe, it's like so daunting. Like Warframe is a lot to
Whereas
wrap your
this
head
is
around.
Dauntless.
Yeah.
Jonesy. Stadia, Google Stadia. If you remember,
What's that?
yes.
Stop it.
Like I think it's so
Yo,
crazy. to
am
think
I
back-
the only one that's like doesn't hate on Stadia?
Yes.
What is the deal?
You're insane.
Like I'm
so-
looking at
It's a
Cyberpunk.
strong word.
I'm looking at Cyberpunk. My PC is not good. Next gen consoles will not be out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at Stadia for Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
I hope the connections work as advertised.
Me too. And if they don't,
Yeah.
then it's no skin
I
off
think-
my
yeah.
back.
Yes, it
But
is
if-
because you bought a full price game on that.
Because
model.
That's true.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the
But
deception.
by
yes.
the time Cyberpunk's out, all of those tech issues will be known
Yes,
or not
that-
known
That's what I would
by
say.
then.
Is don't do it day one.
No,
Don't
no,
do it day
no.
one.
But no, you see how it shakes out.
Yeah.
it might not even matter what they could do because of how internet infrastructure is in this country. Like you're just
I think we're
My
just kind of
internet's
in a
bad,
holding.
too.
Yeah,
yeah.
My internet's bad.
I just think we're in a
yeah.
holding pattern. We're
Yeah.
just waiting. We're waiting, and like even when you're Blood with XCloud, you like got to actually check it out and got to play these different games. And they have the phone set up on the Xbox controller. Is like, yeah, that was fun. Okay, cool. And then puts that down, and it's like I just don't know what else to say.
Oh, I do have a
In
correction
terms
actually.
of something that's like definitive, like yes, pre-order now. We can say definitively 100% this will work for everybody.
Yeah.
We shared a joke about that cloud server. How was right behind Bloodworth, behind a curtain. It was actually in San Francisco. They had
Oh,
opened
cool.
up admittedly, like, hey, that server's
cool.
in San Francisco.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that they specifically said how that worked.
Yeah.
Because even some things like that's the thing about that Xbox controller is that the Xbox controller goes into like a white box and you're like, what's in there? Is that a PC? Is that an Xbox
yeah.
Scarlett?
It's
Is
a
that
dev
what's
kit.
going on?
Yeah,
So yeah, it's a bummer because I think there's a lot of people. Stadia had a press conference that we didn't cover because they announced it like 4 days before they did
wanna-
it.
Jones,
And it
I
was
wanna
the-
rewind to this.
And it was
Yeah, I
the
cut you off.
Thursday
I'm sorry.
before
Yes.
E3, and everyone's like, "You're not covering that." It's like, no, we're gonna be in the studio unpacking monitors, and it's
Jones-
just a terrible day to.
I don't know if you remember
do
though.
it.
Google was bragging. We have news that can't wait for E3.
Sure.
They were
Well,
so proud of themselves before this.
If you do any sort of press thing before you brag all you want, go for it. That's the time.
yeah.
That's the time.
Okay.
For that kind of attitude, I love that stuff.
So the news that could not wait for E3 is that Stadia still does not have a release date, but it has a release month, which is November 2019. There will be a founders pack. This is how you pay for Stadia. Basically, we had a lot of questions about how to pay. These things they did answer.
Is there a roadmap?
There is no roadmap. No roadmap.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, I think they're not solidified enough yet for that roadmap. Okay, so Founders Pack is $130. It sounds cheap, right? Like that's way cheaper than a new game console. You get a controller, you get a Chromecast Ultra, which you're gonna need if you want that 4K stream. You get a Stadia controller, which I already said. You get 3 months of Pro, Stadia Pro. We'll explain that later. And you get 3 months of Stadia Pro to give to a friend.
Okay.
So wait,
Also, the only
That
way you
doesn't
can
seem
play
like enough.
November.
Yeah,
How
and it is the only way
Who
to play
doesn't have a
November.
controller to play?
Yeah.
You
can I?
use any controller you want?
You can use any controller.
Yes,
Can,
they
and I can use
confirmed.
mouse and keyboard.
Yes.
Yes.
So if I just want to use this thing for Cyberpunk, max settings. How much are we talking?
Okay, so
Max settings
if you
Cyberpunk.
didn't
That's
want
all
ma-
I want.
If you didn't want max settings,
Yeah.
If you're content to deal with something less than 4K 60 frames per second,
Yeah.
free baby.
Free.
Just buy
Just
the game.
buy the game.
Just buy the game.
'Kay.
Stream it for free.
Okay.
If you're the type
Yes.
who would be interested
For Cyberpunk, played
Yes.
in IMAX.
Yep.
Yes.
in that 4K 60, $10 a month.
So just $10.
That's Pro. That is the Stadia Pro.
$10.
Yeah. Basically, you're spending $10 a month to rent a next-gen console.
'Kay.
Is the
Which
easiest
in
way
like
to
the
explain it.
best of circumstances sounds awesome.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is it here at Easy Allies. At least I can just speak personally. Like I
Yeah.
just get nervous when it gets into this. Trust us. It's like, oh, all right. Like even Cyberpunk. Like we haven't played this yet. Dying Light 2. Like not playable this year. Okay. Demo I saw last year was pretty solid.
Yeah.
And they when the lights come up in the demo this year, I'm like, this game releases next week. We're ready. Like, come on. Like Astral Chain not playable. Like, why? Like, it's just weird. Like, I try to have as much caution as I can stepping through the clouds of pre-launch anything, whether
Yeah.
it's a console or new service or new tech or a game or
I don't think you're
new
allowed
IP,
to. I don't think you're
sequel of a
allowed.
franchise we trust, all of it.
I just think
Yeah.
like Stadia is different than like a new Zelda game. So like,
Oh, sure.
like Stadia, if it's terrible and it's bad,
Who cares?
I'm blinking and moving on.
Yeah, I get that.
So there's like nothing to lose. There's nothing to even invest in
Well, except-
emotionally at all until Cyberpunk is out. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Moving on.
But then you're out $60 because you bought Cyberpunk on a useless thing.
But I mean,
Unless you wait until
Digital
response.
Foundry will have my back and tell me exactly how it runs.
Oh, they're
on
gonna hop
Stadia.
into your apartment?
I mean, my internet is, yeah, of course, it's my internet's shady, but they'll be like, dude, we played it on with this kind of internet. We played it with this kind of.
I think they will.
Like, there's so many
I do think there'll be
reports.
enough reports.
Yeah.
And
But like,
go ahead.
You can like here at Easy Allies, we pay for literally the best internet we can get in this location,
Here at Easy Allies.
which is the same as I have at home, Spectrum Gig, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
Like
I know.
it's bad.
It's
like
really
you
bad.
don't even get the 900 you pay for. You get like 500 at best, and 40 up. And like during E3 streams, that went down to like 5 up sometimes.
I
and
think
like
they
it
throttled
wasn't-
us.
They must have throttled us, but like the
something's going on.
business internet guarantee is like no throttling, 100% uptime.
Yeah.
And it's just trash. And it's like you can have the greatest thing, but if it's not stable,
Yeah.
like my thing with Stadia is like obviously this is the future. Like I read a lot of like sci-fi, Neil Stephenson, William Gibson books. This is like eventually everyone's just going to be online all the time, and like someone's got to go first, and it might as well be Google because they already own the internet. But it's like they just have to get the inroads in early so that they're the ones, and it makes sense. It's just 4 or 5 years early before it's worth it, which is fine, Like if you've got banging internet, Stadia all the way.
Yeah.
But also, if I buy it and it's choppy and doesn't work, won't they just give me my money back?
no,
God,
No? Really?
No.
I don't
We don't
think
know.
so, man.
Have you met Google?
Be like, dude, Google, I bought your game. You said it would work.
Who would you
Like,
call?
what's
You
going
heard-
on? Give me my money back.
Have you ever had an
I-
issue
Steam
with Google and
refunds?
tried to
Like, come
call
Yeah,
on.
those
them?
exist. It's
Maybe,
just,
man. Yeah, I want to say maybe. I want to say maybe.
Maybe.
Because of Steam. You're right. Because they have to compete with Steam. I'm going to say maybe.
Okay.
By the way, Stadia Pro will have free games. I think when Stadia was first announced, a lot of people thought, "Oh, this is the Netflix of gaming I've been
Yeah.
waiting for." It's
Right.
not that. It's nothing close.
Yep.
But Stadia Pro will have free games. The first game announced, you will get the complete Destiny 2 experience with Stadia Pro. By the way, while we were E3ing, Destiny 2 announced that it will become a free-to-play game. So it's like Stadia.
Everything
But wait,
except
does that include-
Shadowborn, right?
Yeah, does that include
Yeah.
the DLCs?
It does not.
Not yet.
Sorry, Stadia includes DLCs. Free-to-play does not include
Okay,
DLCs.
okay.
Yeah.
So you get like a $40 value.
Hey, yeah, I mean the DLC is expensive to their credit. Yeah. Lastly, in Stadia's press conference, they did announce officially Baldur's Gate 3, which we kind of giggled about knowing that was going to happen anyway, but that's official. Larian Studios. However, we talked about it as a Stadia exclusive, and it totally is, and it is also coming to Steam and GOG, which I think is interesting in that. By the way, we didn't learn much else. We had a lot of like documentaries and interviews, but like nothing seen from the game. Going forward, when I say what platforms a game is going to be on, I can't say PC anymore. I now have to say like Steam, GOG, Epic Game Stores,
Yeah.
like Stadia. Like I have to make it clear which PC platforms it's on.
Yep.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Our review lower thirds are going to be cluttered as hell.
Yeah.
Available
Oh, boy.
on Epic Game Store.
Yeah, we're just gonna show
Steam,
logos at some point.
Stadia.
Logos is
Yeah.
actually not a bad idea. I think
Yeah.
that would save some space.
Before you wrap it up, I got another one that I'm
From Stadia?
not prepared for at all. No, just while you were E3ing.
Oh, I
think
got
would
more,
make
but
it-
go ahead.
Oh, okay, never mind.
No,
We might
what
get
do
to
you got? I'm curious.
There were, I want to say Activision, there were layoffs. Some company like fired a bunch of people right in the middle of E3. And I just saw a lot of
Activision.
I think it was Activision. I
what-
mean, we can't just.
I
Ian, can
know.
you
I
look
don't
that
want
up?
to. I don't want to just like
Lay-
throw out
do,
Activision. there, but
layoffs E3. you'll
layoffs
get the
during
headline.
E3.
You'll
It
get the
was
headline.
clearly like Wednesday of
Oh.
E3.
It was Thursday,
Just
dude.
Nobody was,
There's
no one will notice
no. They
this.
also closed.
Amazon Game Studio.
Yeah,
Oh,
Amazon Game Studios
Studios.
closed.
That's.
Yeah.
I mean,
Apologies, Activision.
Yeah.
Seemed like something you would have done.
Activision's hiring, baby.
They did it a few months ago.
Yeah. It was them a few months ago. Yeah. Okay. Another thing I want to talk
But that
about
sucks.
is auto chess vaganza. Auto chess
I saw this.
is the new hot genre.
Yeah.
Do you remember? We talked about this.
Yeah.
We were like,
I
hey,
need
invest
to
in
be
auto chess
caught
now.
up. I need to be caught up on this. I'm just like so out of my
Download it
element. I
on your
have no idea
phone,
what this
free to
is.
play.
That's
I
what
have no idea
Damiani.
what
We
this
all
is.
are, dude. While we were E3ing, auto chess became like the biggest game genre. So, Damiani, I'll take you all the way back, okay? All the way back to January of 2019. There's a Dota 2 mod called Auto Chess that's released. And this mod becomes insanely popular very quickly. 8 million players were playing that mod by May of 2019. It's ridiculous. And so this is really cool. So Valve admitted this is on their own blog post. It was pretty clear that we should reach out to the creators, Drodo Studios, and start a conversation about working together. Why not make this official, right? We had conversations, but we both came to the conclusion that Valve and Drodo could not work directly with each other for a variety of reasons.
Money.
We ended up agreeing that we'd build our own standalone version of the game and support each other to the fullest. Pretty cool that they posted that, right?
That is cool.
So on May 6th, I guess it's pretty shortly thereafter, Valve trademarked Dota Underlords. And just this week, actually, Dota Underlords became an official game. That is their auto chess game.
Got it.
Meanwhile, Drodo Studios did go ahead and made a game straight up just called Auto Chess, which is essentially Dota 2 Auto Chess, but without any Dota characters. Of course, Valve's does have their characters in there.
And I think Valve's is going into beta in like a week, or the beta is out right now.
Beta out right now, but
Boom.
you need the Dota 2 Battle Pass to play that right now.
Ooh.
So yeah, they're already mining their Dota 2 audience, which by the way is still enormous compared to most other games, right? And also on June 10th, Riot announced their own auto chess game called Teamfight Tactics, and that will release on June 25th. So we got 3 auto chess games right now.
Now we're just holding for BlizzCon for the Blizzard auto chess.
Yeah.
And it's an inevitability.
And I told developers, like, hey, get on an auto chess. It's already too late. Bail now. You're not going to beat any of these. You're not going to beat these 3 games. Just bail now. Get out. Because, like, it's too late. Like, they did it. They acted fast. Again, this started January of this year, and they're already publishing these games. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Free to play, by the way. Huber, you got a grasp of what these games actually are.
Yeah, a little bit. It's not like chess, but basically it's round based, and you get a random assortment of heroes you can choose from, and that changes every round. It's always
So do I have like a deck?
No. So there's no.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like a random element to the heroes that pop up.
Oh, so it's like a giant pool of heroes.
Pool of heroes.
Got it.
Pick a hero. He goes on like your little row down there, and then you put him on the board.
Which looks like a chessboard, but isn't one.
Looks like a chessboard.
Sometimes there are hexagons in some of these games.
Yeah, and you fight like minions and other creatures. You get XP, you level up, but the strategy is in the nuance of the units you pick.
Okay.
So the units you pick, like if you have 3 of the same unit, they can form a big one. Units of the same class, you can like power each other up.
And from what I understand, it's not just about 1v1. It is...
7 on Underlords.
Is it 7 players
Play
at once?
online against 7 other players on
so it's 8.
Underlords.
Yeah, so Ian, what I could grasp from a lot of this is inspired by Mahjong. Which is, that is a game that is not 1v1. That is a table game. And so that kind of makes sense.
Very complicated game.
Yeah, and random elements to that too.
The East Wind.
My mom has become a Mahjong person.
Really?
Yes.
Very cool.
Every Sunday she's playing Mahjong.
I've always kind of wanted to learn Mahjong.
Yakuza
It is crazy. It is
teaches
hard.
you.
Nice.
Me and the
Yakuza.
snakes playing mahjong, thinking of how we're gonna get in there and get the gas.
What is that?
Thinking of hacks. Close. I mean, sequel to Mad Max.
If you're Road
No,
Warrior.
get out of here.
Road
Warrior.
Warrior.
Oh. Okay, so this is official. This is part of Mahjong. There's a rule that officially changes, or more than one rule that officially changes every year. So there's a Mahjong association
Yes.
who all agrees to change some part of Mahjong every single
Like the
year.
Scrabble dictionary.
Yes.
It's a moving target.
Yeah. I don't know how that's possible, but that is what happens. And you can also say like, hey, you want to play 2002 Mahjong right now?
Nice.
And like you play by those rules. It's crazy.
Mahjong's really hard.
Yeah. Respect. So yeah, we're aware of auto chess. Like, keep an eye out for it. It's a big deal already. But if you're a developer who is working on a clone, scrap it. On to the next one.
I know. I wonder how you could like add different variations. Because for me, I'm just gonna wait for the unannounced Blizzard one because I'm attached to those heroes.
Yeah.
I want to.
And Riot's attached to theirs, and
Yeah.
Dota's attached to theirs. I mean, like
Exactly.
they're built-in successes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I'm downloading the beta of Auto Chess to my Android right now.
Nice.
Nice, Ian.
Yeah, like I want to put Kerrigan and like Raynor out there and be like, go.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Just do it.
Pokemon auto chess. You could do it.
Yeah,
That'd
that'd
be
be cool, dude.
cool.
You could do it.
I like the idea of getting a random assortment of Pokemon to start off with.
Yeah.
Like, I don't choose which ones I'm bringing in. It's
And
just
if
like,
you
this is cool.
get 2 Charmanders, you can get,
Yeah.
A Charmeleon.
Charmeleon. Forgot what that was called for a second.
That's all right.
Get a char.
Do you hear that?
Oh.
It sounds like it's podcast halftime.
Char. The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of June. Car Keys Express. If you need a replacement car key or a remote, check out carkeysexpress.com/store. Use the coupon code EZA at checkout for free shipping and 10% off of your order. They are proud sponsors of Easy Allies. El Thanis. Uniqlo. Uniqlo is a Japanese fashion brand aiming to change the world through the power of clothing. With a focus on high quality and innovative textiles, Uniqlo is redefining everyday clothing by increasing the functionality of your wardrobe at an affordable price. They call it LifeWear Made for All. Visit uniqlo.com/easya to check out their collections, including new and upcoming graphic t-shirt collaborations with Nintendo, Star Wars, Street Fighter, Monster Hunter, and many more. That's uniqlo.com/easya. Hogue Law Business Law Firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side. Or at least that Good Business Lawyer's YouTube and podcast series, Virtual Legality. Check it all out at youtube.com/HOEG Law or on your favorite podcast service. Sweet Justice, a sound design company from the southern shores of the UK. They've worked on some of the biggest AAA titles, the most refreshing indie titles, and collaborated with the best development teams in the world. Fangamer, makers of officially licensed merchandise for games like Dark Souls, Hollow Knight, Stardew Valley, Undertale, Katamari Damacy, and Persona 5, not to mention Easy Allies t-shirts. Their newest products include the Hollow Knight Collector's Edition for Switch, PS4, and PC, a Prince and Katamari magnetic plush, and a Sans hoodie from Undertale. Check out their store at fangamer.com. Lynn Aslin, a software engineer searching for opportunities to learn and grow. He has over a year of industry experience programming in C++, C#, and Python. As a graduate of the University of Connecticut's Master Program for Computer Science and Engineering, Lynn has explored the fields of cloud computing, computational geometry, and more. If you're looking for an ally to join your team, visit his website, lynnaslin.com, for his resume, sample works, and contact details. Again, that's LYNNASSELIN.com. You can also find him streaming near Automata at twitch.tv/shoutout to Yoko Taro.
Shout out.
Our gifted sponsor this month is the Able Gamers Foundation, a nonprofit charity that aims to improve the overall quality of life for those with disabilities through the power of video games, creating opportunities that enable play in order to combat social isolation, foster inclusive communities, and improve the quality of life for people with disabilities. The link to donate is in the description. And our mega sponsor, Heroic Replicas. The fine folks at Heroic Replicas design and fabricate true-to-form, high-quality replicas and props. From legendary gear to keepsakes or all-metal creations, Heroic Replicas can make something special for you. Summer Games Done Quick 2019 starts June 23rd, and Heroic Replicas is supplying the Donation Drive Grand Prize. Help your favorite speedrunners, raise money for Doctors Without Borders, and you could win a high-carbon tempered Master Sword and an all-metal Hylian shield from The Legend of Zelda. For more details, visit GamesDoneQuick.com or follow Heroic Replicas on Twitter. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors. Beat Piscatella is a game we're going to have to play next week. I'm sorry, Huber.
Oh no, I got my fighting fists ready.
I know.
All
We're
right, all
going
right.
to, like, I forgot. Like, it's going to take some prep. So what happened is Matt Piscatella gave his prediction for how the yearly MPDs are going to be.
Oh.
And I think we can beat them.
Can we at least go over the MPDs? Or are going to
Yeah,
hold
we're going to
those?
do the MPDs.
Okay.
So we will do the MPDs.
You
of
got
May, at
lucky,
least.
Piscatella.
Lucky. Next week, we're going to beat you, dude. So we can at least talk about the May MPDs. What I've done is I put some names of games on some cards. We have...
I do know a spoiler because Ed Boon tweeted it. I do have a spoiler.
Oh, okay.
Mortal
All right.
Kombat
Fair.
11.
Fair.
Michael Huber does have a spoiler.
MK11 is number 1.
Okay, so we
All
have...
on an even playing field now.
All right.
We have these titles. We have Mortal Kombat 11, Team Sonic Racing, Rage 2, Total War 3 Kingdoms, and Days Gone. Keep in mind...
Showing up.
He's not showing up.
Keep in
That
mind,
feels good.
Mortal Kombat 11 and Days Gone were both from the month prior. They were both from April.
Right.
Yep.
Feels good.
But the other games were new in May. What is the order of these 5 games?
MK11 we know is number 1.
Mortal Kombat 11, number 1, 2 months in a row.
Oh, that way.
Yeah. This is a game we call The NPD is Right, by the way. So what we have left, audience, is Rage 2, Team Sonic Racing, Days Gone, and Total War 3 Kingdoms.
I'm thinking that.
What?
What?
I'm thinking
that. That's my call.
This sold really well, by the way.
Team Sonic Racing sold really
Sonic or Sega announced it sold like way more than the previous All-Star games.
Okay.
Rage 2 seems a little high for me.
You think? Okay.
This is
Put
very
Sonic above Rage
interesting
2?
Well, let's go to the back.
What do you think, Damiani?
Let's go to the back. What is last?
Total War 3 Kingdoms.
Okay.
Is that true?
I'll
He's
tell you.
teasing
I'll
with
tell
that
you
Days
when
Gone.
we're locking in.
The thing is,
The
this-
Days Gone is throwing me off.
but
I'm
the thing
playing
is,
Bob Barker right here.
yeah. This is not necessarily top 5. This is just
this is
the
not
order
top 5.
of these games.
Yes.
Days Gone could be number 28 on the list.
That is
All right, I'll give you a hint though.
sneaky.
I'll give you a hint though. I will give you a hint. The top 4 is here.
Ah.
The top 4 is there.
Okay.
I like it.
So Damiani has moved Team Sonic Racing into second.
Whoa, Total
I don't
War.
hate that. You know what I mean? I
This
don't.
is second month.
Yeah.
Second month. But
But it's sold so well.
Days
and
Gone
the
has moved to the caboose.
And the word of mouth spread big time on Days Gone, dude. People were doubting it when it came out, and then slowly, everyone was like, dude, this game is good. Dude, Days Gone is good. It rose. It rose up.
Jones, are you willing to let Days Gone stay in the back?
Yeah.
Do you want? Do you think
It
did
had
better
its
in Rage
shot.
2?
It's sold really well in Japan.
You did better
It's
in
gonna
Rage
be
2?
fun.
I think it's better than Total War.
I'm cozy with
Okay.
this list. Yeah. I think we're
You
good.
roll us- What do you want, Huber?
Wait,
So right
majority.
now, to everyone at home,
Do you think this, Damiani? You think this?
I don't know.
Jones does.
Is
Days
Total
Gone
War
is
ahead? Is
sticking
Total
at
War
the
ahead
end.
of Days Gone? That's the question.
Total
right
War
now.
I
is-
feel
What
like
do
we're
you
being that we're gonna get deceived by this.
I
feel like-
know. Total War, dude.
I'd love it.
I'm worried that Rage 2 is too high.
Me too.
I don't
Rage
think
2
so.
right now is in third place, everyone
Yeah.
at home. This is where they're struggling to decide whether big Bethesda release of the year, not great reviews. Where does
But
Rage
neither
2
was Days Gone, and that sold really well. So
True.
she gets, again, sales compared to
Are we,
Yeah,
are we
I'm
willing to
sh-
lock
yeah,
in
I
this
don't know
order?
about these two.
Okay.
Also, they said this sold well, but I don't know how that translates to in the scheme of
if it
this.
sold better than the last game, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to beat out
But yeah,
something
did
else.
like
But
All
I'm,
Stars for Sonic and All
So,
Stars.
I'm okay with it.
go
For
with it.
the May
I'm pretty
NPDs
comfortable we're wrong, but not by
Yes.
much.
Yeah,
Let's go.
sure.
Let's
NPDs,
go.
as you always must explain, game sales in the U.S.
Oh, yeah,
ranked,
revenue.
ranked by revenue. Okay, so Mortal Kombat 11 was indeed number 1 2 months in a row.
Okay.
Ed Boon flaunting it.
Team Sonic Racing was indeed number 19.
Okay.
It was not number 2, dude. It was second to last.
Really good. Really good.
All right.
Okay, all right.
Really,
So
really
do we
good.
get these right at least?
Rage 2 is number 4.
Okay.
Total War 3 Kingdoms, another 3.
Days Gone, dude.
Days Gone, number 2.
Days Gone,
They're
baby.
backwards.
We played this game 3 times. This is the worst you've ever done.
Yeah.
We're wrong
yeah,
on
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, they got Mortal Kombat right because you were low.
Because you were,
Days
yeah.
Gone.
Days Gone, baby.
Crazy. Yep.
Don't skip.
Wow.
That's the thing, man. Can you seriously imagine just Sony not showing up to E3 at all? Days Gone gets number 2 on the list. I mean, they
can't,
are
dude.
just like, prove to us
Yeah.
that we should ever go to E3 ever again. Like, and it's not like, again, the desire index. It's not like that slipping on Last of Us or Tsushima or any of this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
come on now, Death Stranding. No,
Wait
we're
till I
all
bring
so,
Death Stranding into the index.
Yeah.
Y'all are hosed. Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of a Wildlands situation, Days Gone.
Oh, sure.
It's the same kind of
Or
thing.
even
to
like a
me,
Far
yeah.
Cry. Like a lot
Yes,
of people were, thought Far Cry 5 was stinky for many reasons.
But then
and,
it sold like crazy.
and then just forget about it.
Yeah.
Your opinions don't matter.
Total War 3 Kingdoms again.
Yeah.
We got to stop doubting that game.
That's great.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Every
man.
time. Every time.
Remember, we had to bet on how many reviews it would have. None of us were like close by 10,000.
But I like that we
Yeah.
are consistently proving how little we know about the Total War franchise. It's right there, black and white.
Here at Easy Allies.
No way
we
to
are
dodge that.
consistent. Okay, and then next week we'll play Beat Piscatella. Now I'm not so confident we could beat him.
Yeah.
Oh no,
You got
we're-
us.
Yeah, forget it.
I don't know if we can beat him. It is now time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
Let's start with a quick little fun one. This is from Roxas. Roxas
Thanks,
himself.
Roxas.
Okay.
Hey guys, quick update. I wrote a few weeks back to the same panel asking if I should take time on my business trip to the US and go to E3 or to stay at home and watch it with my dad. Happy to report that I stayed. And we won a contest from Microsoft and got to see their conference at a movie theater. My dad and I loved it, and we shared a unique E3 experience that we won't forget anytime soon. Thanks for your advice before. Love and respect.
Boy, I didn't even know they were doing that. Sony
Oh,
loves doing that
that's a
stuff with the
total Sony
theaters,
move,
but
yeah.
Just took Sony's.
That's cool.
yeah.
And yeah, at a
Was it
theater,
IMAX?
probably. I doubt it was IMAX. To everyone's credit, though, we told this person to stay at home, but also like we read one that was hyped for E3 and somebody like finally got to go because their podcast had taken off. And I got some love and respect from people who just had a great time going to E3. And so
That's the thing, though. I think a lot of those people, it's like you could say as many negative things as you want. You're not stopping me from going to E3.
Yeah.
They don't need our advice. But somebody who's like, I can't tell.
Yeah.
It's like if you're on the fence and you're just not, magnetically being pulled to the show, you could probably have a pretty good time just watching it.
Also, how many people have a father willing to go to that awesome movie theater to just watch Microsoft commercials for an hour and a half, 2 hours? Like, that's a good dad.
That's a good day.
That's a
great
good
day.
Showing up.
We have another E3 question. I'm interested to actually hear how the panel responds to this. Hello, allies. I wanted to ask you how you personally approach game showcases that you get your hands on. Do you follow the creator's intent, or do you try to explore the limits of the game into the time given? As a developer who had showcased a small indie game, I had experience on basically adding more stuff to the demo and patch it on the spot after players tried to interact with the game the way we've never imagined or see how they could break it. It was great and I loved it. Thank you for your time. Love and respect. Kit.
So how we play
When you're playing the E3
hands-on?
demo, behind closed doors.
Okay.
Behind closed doors.
Sorry.
If I go to a separate preview not to do with E3, I play as creator's intent as possible. Slow-paced, reading documents. If I'm at E3,
No time.
guns blazing, pretty brisk pace. I'm going through quickly. I'm not reading documents. I might not even like mess around with the menus or the control like layout. I'm going. That's
It's because of time.
because of time.
Got it.
If I'm on the floor, people are behind me. I don't want to be
Oh,
rude.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A lot of these things are time sensitive. Like people are coming in, going out.
Honestly, this was one of my favorite parts about going to E3, though. Even as PA at GTTV, I'd get like one day to just go and chill out, and my tag said GTTV on it, so like I got to check out cool things. I liked to interview to talk to the developers. Normally, they just love seeing a person playing their game right there. And, obviously they're like trying to like put their cards in your pocket and like get you really excited about it. But also, in general, like Kit here, I think they just like to see how somebody would play their game at the same time.
Yeah.
Jones, do you say like, hey, what's going on here when you're playing a demo? Do you say like, this is bad?
Yeah, I mean, you also kind of feel it out too. Like when you walk in a room and sit down and somebody hands you a controller and you kind of look to your right and look to your left, like you can tell, they're like, let's talk about this. Like the Shenmue, gameplay you did was extremely jolly and like it looked like you could definitely throw questions at them. One appointment that really stood out for me at this past E3 was Star Wars. In that, like, not only did I have Stig and all these other people, the Respawn people, like in the room where I was playing this demo that was just enemies, and so I was like practicing force powers, and they were all like, hey, remember force push is you can charge that up, or remember this. Like, I don't want to tell you how to play the game, but I just want to give you the tools to do that. Then I go in and actually play what everyone saw in the demo at EA Play, and he was actually very forthcoming with, this is a little bit easier than it'll be in the actual game. This door that you just walked past, we closed that off, but we're actually going to open that up while you're playing this level. This puzzle you're doing here won't be in the actual game. It's just E3ified. So they were actually very honest about that, but like, that I wasn't going to ask them those questions specifically because I really wanted to play with the game, and so that was just kind of offered by them. Then as I'm leaving, Stig like grabs me and he's like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I thought this was cool." And we were talking about Star Wars lore and Ben Burt doing the sound effects, and so it was neat to have the gameplay perspective, Star Wars nerd perspective. But then again, you walk into other, like Dying Light was like hands off demo. Thank you. Do you have questions? Questions are over. Take off. We need to let the other people come. Even Cyberpunk definitely has this like, we got to keep this moving, folks.
Yeah.
So
Cyberpunk does not care what Jones's feedback is too.
So there's
right? Like it's like, I didn't like the yellows.
Yeah, right.
Like it's just.
Actually, they had a survey this time.
Oh yeah,
You could
they
fill
did.
out a survey with like
Last time,
thoughts. Yeah.
Oh, actually, really,
And then
I like that.
they
That's
collected
great.
it in a bin on your way out.
Cool.
So there's no hard and fast rule for me.
True.
To apply to every single appointment. You just kind of have to like feel it out.
Because the Watch Dogs appointment I went to was 45 minutes, and that was like my most hyped, and it was my very last one.
Yeah.
So
Is
we have-
45 minutes good or bad?
Pretty good.
Okay.
So we have 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Everyone gets funneled in, and you have a guide guiding you on the mic. But before we got funneled in, the guy does like a speech and tells you kind of everything before you go to play, and he's like, just want to make sure, your guide is not there to tell you exactly what to do. Like, you can kind of do what you want to do, and just you're not beholden to do a certain thing. So I get to my station, and I'm like, yo, man, I'm really excited about this. I got to go get a fresh cup of coffee because I'm ready to settle in.
Oh, in a real fresh cup. of coffee.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
went to like get a cup of coffee, dude.
Yeah.
Took a few minutes, came
Yes.
back, and just settled and played it like pretty slow and straight.
Nice.
Yeah.
Damiani, how do you handle this situation? You're a very critical person.
Yeah, I mean, depends on the game. Some game, like Final Fantasy VII Remake, I obviously like looked around. I wanted to like check out everything in the demo, looking at walls, trying to see if I could see anything like more than that you might miss if you just like, because your natural instinct is just like, all right, get to like the good part, get to the boss battle, get to this part, and you might not notice some stuff pass you by. I try and see what I can do. Generally, though, if I feel like it's kind of nice because you can usually see other people playing before you, so you can kind of get a gist of like what you're gonna see. So you can I make mental notes like, should probably do that, should probably check that out, should probably do this. So I wonder what it's like to be like the first person to try something at E3 where you have no heads up on what it's gonna be. So it's like you don't get that luxury.
I go media blackout.
But at the same time, I find the concept of giving feedback a little interesting. Obviously, that's. In passing, I had two developers ahead of me in the line for Link's Awakening, and they were making a joke about how like E3 is like the largest like public QA test for
Sure.
Like it basically that's what it is. Like we dress it up as like, hey, isn't it cool you get to play this exclusive demo at E3? Thank you for doing free QA testing for us.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see that obviously developers want to get feedback on their games while there's still time to change it. It's always been a little bit of a conflict in my head in terms of if you're the one who's going to be, is it okay if you're the one who might end up reviewing said game to be giving the creator feedback at that point?
Yes.
Like
I
it's
think
like,
so,
fine,
yeah,
dude.
for sure.
Yeah,
That's
is
no
that is
ethical
that,
boundary. It is not.
Yeah.
yeah, I've always been like, is that a line you're allowed to cross or not if you're a critic and giving early feedback and stuff like at a preview event and stuff like that? Is that viewed as okay, or is that like you're now helping? I don't know. Like I've always been very cautious about that. I will always just be like, I'll basically say like, yeah, this was cool, that was nice, stuff like that, because it feel like they're trying to get inside your head a little bit. But like, what are they gonna say in the review and stuff? It's like, are they gonna take advantage of that as well? It's always weird to me. Like, I actually don't usually fill out feedback forms and stuff. I'm like, I don't really want to do that. I'd rather go inform my thoughts and then come back and tell you about it in my environment. My job is not to go there and tell creators about their product to their faces. Like, I'm not there to QA test for you. Like, I'm here to play it and then give my impressions, and you can see it when I'm ready, but like I'm not doing it on your terms there. I feel like it's a power balance there. They have all the power there because they're like they're hurrying you along. They're like,
keeping the
they're
power.
hurrying you along. They're like, hey, do you like this environment? Isn't it like we got nice headsets? Like, it's a little like It's also, for me, it's always not the optimal environment. It's like, do you really want me to give feedback on playing this demo here? Would you rather me like wait till I've had a better chance to play it proper? It's
Well, going back to that Star Wars appointment, like there's a lot of negative things I could have told that team, or just like, hey, I'm not really driving on this main character yet. Hey, this one sequence seemed weird. Hey, your E3 trailer in your demo, your E3 trailer is basically just a cut down of the demo, which was disappointing. I would have liked to have seen something else, like a tease of a new planet or something.
That's why
but it's just like a lot of that's like, I don't know if there's really anything you can do about that. I don't know how valuable that information. And just like Damian was saying, like, I don't know if I really want to divulge that at this point. I'm still trying to figure this out. So I don't want to be disingenuous and leave the appointment where it's like, it's all good. Like, oh no, I
get that.
of course have concerns about this, but
That's
it's just
why I
not
like the Cyberpunk
relevant.
one, because it's just like rated on a scale of 1 to 10.
Your name's not on it.
Pros, cons.
Right.
Yeah.
Pros and cons. That's it.
Yeah.
I was like, pros looks awesome. Blah blah blah. Like,
What'd you write under cons?
cons? I said bad bottle kill. Yep. Did not
Love it.
feel the kill on the bottle, dude.
That's great.
Get
Yours
that
was-
That's gonna get
and
a
now
chuckle
they
at-
know
at
right
CD
now.
Projekt
They're
Red.
like,
Bad
that is my net piece of paper,
bottle
Michael
kill.
Huber.
So funny.
Hey,
They're gonna
Brett, look at this. Like, Brett comes into this guy's office. Brett just slides it across the table.
Told you.
Because like they like crack the bottle and they're doing melee and it was just like
But
It's like this weird.
in your
animation.
demo, it was different than ours because in ours,
Yeah.
the bottle killed. Like they jammed the bottle in the throat and
Good bottle
killed
kill.
her
Yeah.
with it. Yeah.
They were probably really confused
You
by that
would've,
note.
yeah.
then. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
just goes to show that it's actually simulating it.
I imagine they recorded all of those too.
Ian, you got some meetings. You get appointments.
Yeah, from time to time.
What do you do? How vocal are you?
I'm only like I only speak if I'm spoken to. You know, I'm there to play a game, not to talk. But like, unless I have to ask questions, you know. But like, I did have a very fun, illuminating meeting with the Stronghold Warlords guys because I love the old Stronghold games. I even said I'm like, I love Stronghold 1 and Crusader. 2 and 3 weren't very good, and they were like, yeah. And like, so we were talking about the games and like. Talking about like how stairs work and how walls work and how it's improved from the old ones, and like he did a single line of a wall and I was just like, whoa, you know, which is like cool. But it was fun because they had heard feedback from other people at E3 that they were like, yeah, well, I think we'll put this in. And like when we were talking, they were like having ideas, and I was like, oh yeah, that'd be really cool if you did this and blah blah blah. And so like I wonder if any of these things, what was the one that in my meeting they said maybe they'll add a progression tier to the fire oxen so that you have to like upgrade it to make them explode later. It's gruesome.
And they were receptive to that, which I think is cool.
Well, that one was his idea just based on what we were talking about at the time. So
Yeah.
like he came up with that based on something I had said. I don't know. But yeah, it was really cool to kind of be like, because they're a really small team and they could do what they want kind of. But I thought that was a lot of fun. Kind of to Damiani's point though, I was wondering like if you saw an error that you think would impact your review score, would you not tell them? If like let's say I mean hypothetically, like let's say you see something that would be like a deal breaker for you that maybe they could fix, like would you not say anything to like is the currency of your review like more important than
My
making the
take
game
is
good?
that they are free to observe. Like there's nothing I can do to stop them from watching me play the game. But that's on them. Like they should be paying attention to me, my play session, not PlayStation. Sorry, and be like observing. Like they want to record the videos, whatever. They should be taking their own notes, which they probably absolutely are, and then go address that feedback based on what they see from people playing the game. Like, oh, so and so tried to do this, it didn't work. We noticed a lot of players trying to what was it, Twilight Princess? I noticed a lot of people at E3 using their different hand to swing the sword with the Wii remote. And like, oh, we should actually make it actually move the sword and stuff instead of being like make it a little bit more like that. That's how that came to be. But I don't think anyone directly told them to do that. So if there was like a critical error, I hope someone was watching it, saw it like, ooh, did you catch that? You see that happen? Like that's part of their job. They should be observant. They should be watching it. I mean, if they ask me, like, what did you do to cause that? I'd be like, okay, yeah, here, like, I would not withhold that from them. Yeah. I'm kind of like what you said earlier, Ian, like, if they speak to me and ask me questions, then I will, like, I feel like that's an appropriate time to say stuff.
Yeah.
In the past, it's usually only when I've, like, addressed them with any kind of feedback, but I don't volunteer that information generally. I kind of just, like, walk away and, like, save it for talking with all of you about it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, if they ask for feedback, I'll give it. If they don't, I won't.
Yep. I just say thank you.
The control meeting, Huber, that we had, the control gameplay was really interesting because it straight up did just kind of feel like a QA test. Because they had said, like, hey, this is a buggy build.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna, you might fall through the floor, you might do that thing, and blah, blah, blah.
Totally.
And, like, I fell through the floor a couple of times, and I still loved it. But, like, it was really interesting because, like, the guy across from me, I don't know what his bug was, but he discovered a new bug that they had never seen before.
Whoa.
And they gave him a T-shirt.
What?
Isn't that game
I want
coming
to find
out
some
soon?
bugs.
Yeah, it's coming
August.
out soon enough. I mean,
August.
I think I'm not really worried.
gonna
I
be
think they
fine.
were problems that hopefully I think are solvable.
You can take a T-shirt,
yeah.
Huber.
They
have
gave
a-
us T-shirts too.
Yeah, I
but-
want to hear your story, Jones. What you got?
Power.
Well, I just
mouse.
have a classic no-no for any developer not to do.
A classic
because
no-no. Here we
it
go.
has
Jones
popped
no-no.
up. Happened last year with For Honor, unfortunately, which is where you set up a versus multiplayer, whatever. So in For Honor, I think it was 4v4. So you walk into the room and, I'm on one team and somebody else is on the other team. And like, you're going to have some classic For Honor people and you're going to have someone like me who likes action games and has played For Honor before, but is not like super great at it. And you're going to have people who have no idea what they're doing. Reminded me of probably one of the worst gaming appointments I've ever had, which was Gigantic, the PC You had the big monster behind you doing stuff.
Oh,
because at
yeah.
both For Honor and Gigantic, the people that were behind me, like popping in and letting me know about like how to play this, would not take a loss as a possibility. Like this was win or death. And so like I'm checking out, this system kind of is For Honor. And somebody's like, get the flag, and I'm like,
that was the best.
calm down.
That was the best.
Like,
Jones.
if I lose this, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I didn't come here to win. I came here to just play the game. Like,
Yeah.
For
calm
Honor,
down.
though,
That's
that
funny,
they were
man.
driving home that vibe, dude, that warrior vibe. That was,
I was
part of the
it just
E3
completely
experience.
clouded my mind in terms of, like, Ghost Recon this year was a little bit like that, even though that was co-op. But there was
was
just
intense.
a little bit of a rush, a little bit of like, let's do more stuff, and you're just like, am I driving this demo, or is the the person from the dev team controlling the demo? And just that For Honor, I was like, I feel bad. Like, sorry, I lost. It's like
Yeah.
it's just this weird kind of like, just let people have fun and enjoy it, and not like,
Yeah.
I remember it.
I've had
I
one
totally
of those.
remember
Jones.
if people win, give them a T-shirt or whatever,
Yeah.
But it was just like Jev's like in my ear screaming out, "Get the flag!" Like, sorry. So that can be a little intense when it's versus, when you have that set up.
Yeah.
Because you never know, like who's sitting at that desk, who's picking up that controller, their interest, their skill level, like.
But I was thinking about PAX, which is probably more relevant to the broader listener of this podcast, because there's plenty of game trade shows that you can go to and like play a smaller game from an indie developer with the developer standing right there beside you, and those are the coolest. They want to talk to you. You can talk to them, ask them as many questions as you want, and they're happy to answer them.
Yeah.
Normally, I did think of a really funny the stories you're all telling us, one where I was playing this game. I won't call out the game. It was okay. It was like it was like one of those where you like walk by and you're like, ooh, and then you play it and you're like, so I was playing it as I do play, which is like wrong.
Taking a knee.
Yeah, taking many knees. But the developer walks up and this guy with like a mustache and a big bushy beard and like glasses, and he goes, "You must come from QA." Because of the way I was playing.
How did he know?
And it's like, well, I did come from QA. You know what I mean? Even though I was doing Final Bossman at the time, I was like, that's me. You're right. It's like,
Exposed.
yeah, it's really
You
funny.
gotcha.
You must come from QA. All right.
I'm picturing it as like Sam Elliott now.
Yeah. It was Sam Elliott. A bushier Sam Elliott, if you could imagine.
Ah.
I cannot.
This is from Emmett
pretty
TRN. This is one of my favorite comments of the week. VIP DLC. Our next one comes from Adam Wilson. Hello, allies.
All right.
I'm stamping that.
Yeah, we should. VIP in DLC. This is a fun game. Hello, allies. I have a game for you today called Scorpio or Scarlett. I was inspired to create this game after watching the Project Scarlett reveal trailer and realizing how similar it was to the Project Scorpio reveal trailer in 2016.
Good work.
Yeah, the game is simple. I'll give you a quote from one of the trailers.
No!
This is awesome.
And you have to say whether it was talking about Project Scorpio or Project Scarlett. Some quotes have been edited to omit words that would have give the answer away. And to every sticklers, I have reorganized I've randomized the order of these, so don't worry about that. Okay. So we gave the SoC 6 teraflops of computing capability to be able to handle 4K resolutions.
That's the first
The
Scarlet.
old one,
Scorpio.
Yeah.
Scorpio, I mean.
Scorpio.
Scorpio.
It's Scorpio.
Yeah. Because
Nice.
Scarlet's probably 8K, right?
It'll probably, right. I mean, like, they're still going to brag about 4K, because, like, 8K, I don't see anybody holding.
But to get it to 4K.
Yeah, exactly.
Scorpio
Those 6
talk.
teraflops give it away.
We're moving Fallout 4 to VR, and to have a console that can support that at the resolution and speed that we really want it, it's going to have to be magical.
Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Scorpio, that's an easy one. Yeah, yeah. And like, it's interesting to remember they were selling Fallout 4 VR with Scorpio.
Yeah.
Never happened.
It never happened?
No.
Aren't people
Ian,
still,
that's the third time!
Wow.
is
We're the
YouTube.
same. We're
aren't
the
people
same
still
person.
waiting for it? Yeah.
No, VR, they've already said, like, you know what, we're not going to do it.
Oh, okay.
They said, well, for One X is like, nah, you know what, it's never going to have VR, it's fine.
Ian, we should go like buy a lotto ticket or something.
We should.
I don't know, just like share a milkshake. I don't know if like lottery, I don't know if that's like,
No, what we do is we say numbers and we only put in the ones that we say the same number at the same time.
all right, let's do that right now. 3, 2, 1.
4.
Next. 3, 2, 1.
17.
36.
3, 2, 1.
8.
42.
3, 2, 1.
9.
Dang it.
We were going to get there. I feel it.
That's an improv game I actually really used to love, a warm-up, where two people would stare at each other and you say a word at the same time, and eventually you work the words together
Yeah.
close enough to eventually say the same word at the same time. Fun game.
The website for Fallout VR is still up.
Well,
Fallout 4 VR.
it came out not on
Oh.
other platforms.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So it exists.
It does
I was going to
exist,
say, I thought that existed.
just not on the Xbox One X. We're leveraging high bandwidth GDDR6 to ensure
Oh, that's
that we're
that's
getting
a new one, Scarlett.
Scarlett.
nice tech heads over
It's a
here.
good RAM there.
Yep.
DR6 isn't. Yeah.
Good old
Good
Ram.
For me and for the fans and for the developers,
Scorpio.
Xbox has always meant innovation and the latest technology, and delivering the world's most powerful console is something we absolutely want to do.
That's Scorpio.
It is Scorpio.
Either one.
It is. It could be absolutely either
Because I
one.
think, but I think Scarlett, the most powerful console, is kind of a given, especially now that we're just like, wandering
They
into
said-
next
they
gen.
can't say that, but,
But
they
like
can't
that late
advertise
in the
that
gen
anymore.
when Scorpio was happening, they were like, oh, by the
walk
way,
in.
have we mentioned this is the most powerful console?
Yeah.
Wait, is there? There's
He even said it about the Xbox One X during this year's press conference.
Yeah.
just Scarlett is coming out, right? There's Scarlett and
So Scarlett is two things. We
Yeah,
believe
Scarlett's the
Lock.
whole project of the next
Here in
console.
Easy Allies,
Anaconda
we
and
believe
Lockhart.
Scarlett is two
Anaconda
consoles.
and Lockhart. There
Yeah.
it is. Okay,
Yep.
got it.
And
Somebody
one,
needs to name a character Anaconda
one has
Lockhart.
a disc and one doesn't? What's the deal?
Lockhart's just cheaper, just less next gen.
Less
Ah.
Yeah.
So like Anaconda will be expensive. It is presumably very expensive for people who have that expendable income.
So
And-
basically, it's like a pro and a normal coming out at the same time.
yeah, it is like that.
So wait, so that means countless kids on Christmas
Mm-hmm.
are gonna be like, oh, the new Xbox. Oh, it's the Lockhart.
Oh, I got
Oh.
Lockhart.
They'll probably get PlayStations. It'll be okay.
Oh yeah.
We're looking at frame rates up to 120 frames per second.
That's the new
That's
one.
the new
I
one.
remember that part, man. It was like frame rates we've never seen before. It's
That was
crazy.
laughing. I was
Yeah.
like, I mean on a console, but yeah.
We can render fully uncompressed pixels, even more real, more vibrant.
Scorpio.
It's amazing. Yeah, they were bragging about the pixels for Scorpio
It's funny that what is that? A year ago? 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Wow.
Everything they're saying sounds so antiquated.
Yeah, maybe it was 3 then. Oh,
It's just the language they're using too.
Yeah.
It's just like
I believe
this
too.
like corporate newspeak.
I legit think it was 2 E3s ago when they were doing Scorpio, man.
Yes.
And then
I'm
it became
pretty sure.
Xbox One X.
Because that was the Xbox that was the Xbox conference I went to. That was 2 years ago. That was the one that started with 720, 1080, 4K.
Oh yeah. Oh, and people had the shirts that said like "I witnessed the most powerful console of all time."
I mean, I want that now.
I
I wish
would
I was wearing
say-
that shirt right now.
You know what? I think we take Xbox for granted today. It could have been that from 2 years ago. You know what I mean? They had a good show last year, and we expected another good show this year. It wasn't
Yeah.
fair. They've done a lot of changing. That technology component to us is what we really needed. Is what we really need to make our vision and our art come alive.
Scarlett.
That
Go
could be
Scorpio.
either of them.
It's Scorpio though. It could absolutely be either of them.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
coin
I
toss.
just don't. It doesn't ring a bell as something from that speech would have
That
this year.
technology component to us is what we really need. Yeah, it's more like justifying the 1X. I get that.
Yeah.
I love that, like, maybe every fourth or fifth sentence and stuff like this just means nothing. It's just like you just said a whole sentence that meant nothing.
Yes.
The
Well, it's fu-
technology
The
component.
technology component of this technological component.
Yeah.
It's just like, what?
Well, it reminds me of. Granted, they have to do this every new console, or half console. It'd be interesting to see how many Xboxes we get in the Scarlett era. But it kind of reminds me when we write promos for when I write promos for us for E3, where it's just like, okay, E3's on us again, and boy, are we excited! Like,
Yes.
it's like we are excited, but how do I phrase this? Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm waiting for that tweet or that email or something from someone who's like, your promo for E3 this year is word for word exactly the promo you wrote last year. I wouldn't know. Like, I don't go back to watch that old one. Like,
Even,
I
like,
just I
Jones,
follow my heart.
like doing podcast descriptions, I have to struggle not
Right.
to write E3 is upon us.
Yeah.
Like I just every year I'm like E3 is upon us. I'm like, oh, I'd say this every single time.
Now, what'll really be freaky is if you do an E3 Easy Allies description that accidentally describes the Xbox Scarlett.
That would be surprising.
That would be, yeah.
The technology
E3,
component.
the technology
to us.
component.
Last one. Here we go. Now we can take all of that power and apply it back into the scene, so we can actually generate more life in that world.
I
Scorpio.
swear that's Scarlett.
I want to repeat this.
I want to go Scarlet too, but
I swear that sounds familiar, but I'm probably dead wrong.
back into the scene.
To me, yeah, this is the
the power's
funniest
left
one.
the scene, but now it's coming back.
We got lucky that this is the last one. All right, one last time.
Where did the power go to begin with?
Now we can take all of that power and apply it back into the scene, so we can actually generate more life in that world.
Actually,
It's gotta be Scarlett.
It is Scarlett.
nice.
I swear I remember that.
We need that
Oh
live.
my goodness. No, for me that's in one out, ear out the other. It's impossible to remember that sentence.
That's a great example of that, where it's just like that
Yes.
sentence means nothing.
Oh my goodness.
I wonder all the sound bites that don't make it into that edit.
Yeah.
They're just developers going off. I don't know. I think we lost Cynthia there. Maybe we
There-
take that one part out.
Damiani, maybe you remember. I swear to God, one of the guys in this thing said, "I'm very excited about the solid state drive and the SSD."
Yes. No,
Okay.
you're right.
Did I mishear that?
No, no. I
So-
remember hearing that.
Because I
Yeah.
looked at the comments, it's actually, he did not say solid state drive.
Okay, what did he say? Because I was like, that's the same thing.
Yeah. It's something else that you actually can put on an SSD.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I
Okay.
don't know if he was talking about a type of SSD. Or,
It was.
I don't know what he said.
Ian's on it.
Yeah, what
I'm
did he
gonna
actually
Google
say?
Yeah, just Google solid state drive on SSD, and I bet like there are other people who had the same like what, and it was turned
Yeah,
out not to
I
be
was
that.
like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
Well, it was the recorded video, so I'm like, I'd be very surprised if he misread
Yeah.
something in the recorded edit that, multiple
zero sense.
Xbox, Microsoft execs have probably watched 1 billion times.
Yeah. It's time for bets. Next week's bet: Samurai Showdown will be released Tuesday, June 25th. How many Twitch viewers will it have at this time next week on launch day?
Crap.
Probably the least prepared and least confident I ever feel in any type of bet we make is
Yeah.
this Twitch view thing.
And I love it
just
because these should be predictable at this point.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's
They're
not.
wild and random.
All it takes
It's chaos, baby.
is
feel bad.
Max.
That's what I'm hoping.
This
on.
takes
Max is
one,
streaming this
one,
thing?
one streamer.
But so we're
to set
streaming.
off.
Like we're recording our podcast late this week. We're recording
Ninja
it.
switches over for a day.
Yeah, Ninja's playing Samurai Showdown. We're doomed.
Max doesn't stream in the afternoons. Like we actually don't have a chance at Max, but we need a Max.
You don't know about that. It's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe
Max does an
he's
all day thing.
Maybe he's getting the itch.
Nah, he waits. Even he'll wait. Okay, go ahead though, Jones.
5,000.
5,000. Michael Huber.
26,000.
26,000. Michael Damiani.
Day one.
85,000.
Whoa. All right. This
So
is good. This
Damiani
is
is saying that 8 Maximilian dudes will be streaming. Okay, all right. I have 12,000. Ian Hink.
This is freaky because I changed it, but the first number that came to my head was 26,000 Huber. But I made it. I changed
Go
it to
back.
56 because I thought
Oh,
just it would be too low. But yeah, I was gonna write 26. Until
This
I
is
changed
freaky.
No,
This is freaky.
I was gonna
because
say.
you're
Before
on- you're on the
beforehand, I
same
made
8
wavelength.
o'clock.
Beforehand.
We're going low, Kyle. We're going low.
Let me lock that in.
you're a legitimate phenomena.
Because
8 o'clock.
what is this?
I
What
was
are you
going
doing?
to say 8 o'clock.
Is this Ghostbusters? Is it really?
It's Ghostbusters.
I didn't know you were gonna be getting
God,
me.
the Ghostbusters.
No. That's the Don trick. The Don trick is always ask if it's Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Or Fifth Element.
Sorry?
Or Fifth Element.
Or Monty Python.
Yeah. And eventually it's going to be right. And today it was right. So proud of you. Don't be proud. No, just playing the Don game. Not a hugely popular franchise, but I just I got a lot of hopes for Samurai Showdown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It looks good. You
Ben
want to
was
believe in
like-
SNK, you know?
Ben was telling me all about it. Just, it's not about special moves. It's just about a couple big hits and you win the round.
Yeah.
Sounds like my kind
Swords
of fighting
hurt,
game.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, those swords hurt.
So cool.
I guess he said the combination of SoC and solid state drive.
Okay.
The SoC is apparently the combination of the CPU and GPU on a chip.
goes back into the
And it goes
scene.
back
It
into
goes
the
back
scene.
into the scene.
It's
yes.
what you need
It's a
for
cycle.
taking the power of life and putting it back. Into
the power of
It's like
life.
condensation. You know, it's like it goes up out of the
Right.
ocean into the clouds, then on top of the mountains, through the rivers, back into the
precipitation
ocean.
cycle.
into the ocean.
We have conceived a child within this console. Last week's bet. How many different animals will we see in the new Animal Crossing?
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
And I tallied this for you to the best of my ability, but it was way lower than any of us had bet, I think.
Yeah, so Jones, I went to the wiki for this.
Okay.
Because I can't just go. You were like, "Hey, man, it's this or this." You know, you gave me a little range. I need like specifics.
'Kay.
Okay. So here's what we got. Jones, you had 20. Bloodworth had 140.
Yeah.
What was
Blood's always been
You
optimistic
might
about
thought
Animal
like creative
Crossing.
characters or something.
what was he thinking? Because no humans. We said no humans.
Yeah. Blood's
Oh,
always turned it up to 11 when he talks
Yeah,
about Animal
Maybe
Crossing.
he was
It drives me
counting like
nuts.
birds and butterflies and like incidental animals.
No.
Not
No, we
No,
said
no, no,
animal
no.
characters. I think
Oh,
even.
okay.
Thought it
Yeah.
was gonna be a big adventure.
Probably thought it
game.
was going to be a big city.
Yeah, true. Like show
Yeah.
us skyscrapers
True.
and one.
Yeah.
All right, fair
A
enough.
bus goes by. Like,
Yeah.
A train.
That's 20. That's 30 there.
Brad said 25. I said 24. Ian said 46. Here's what the wiki has, Johns. Tom Nook. His children, Timmy and Tommy. Eunice. Freya. Fuchsia. Goldie. Hamlet. And Olivia. That's 9. And I think you said 10 or 11 when you texted me, right? Like you were, your count was
I think
close
I
to
said
that,
less
too.
than a dozen. I
Yes.
was like, I don't. They're not many.
Nothing close to 20. You absolutely won that.
bunch
bet.
of humans at the end,
Yes.
though, right?
What's up?
Bunch of humans at the end.
Well, a bunch of
Oh, a
humans.
ton,
Yeah.
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 Filthy humans is.
Yeah, more humans than I would have ever thought.
Brad's
Careful with
co-op
those
streak
wiki
comes to an end.
sources.
Brad's co-op streak comes to an end.
Oh, because you normally walk into Brad's seat and he gives you a thing. Yeah. No point. No point this week. That brings our totals to Scrappy Little Pigs 14. Gorgeous Gorillas 11. I thought you hissed at the end of that. Have you joined the Hooties?
I've always done the hoo hoo hees.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Was I supposed to be hissing? Oh yeah, because we're like gorilla snakes.
Switcher snake.
You're a little snake on the gorilla's shoulder.
Right.
Yeah. But maybe now you're just a snake who's like taken on the way they speak,
Yeah.
like ravens
We
do.
have to communicate.
Yeah.
So it's more like three. It's like
This
a snaky
I like.
version.
Yeah, I like that. Before we wrap up this podcast, let me tell everyone about patreon.com/easyallies. That is the primary way through which the Easy Allies continue to exist. It is a monthly crowdfunding thing where people support us on a monthly basis, and we try to give back. We try to give perks and pluses to people of various things. Like if $1, you get exclusive shows. You get the best thing for $1. And then it just gets worse from there. But if you give us $5, you get this podcast 2 days early. You get it on Wednesdays as opposed to Fridays. And many other shows. It's like $5 is an early access thing. And you could submit to our silly segments on this very podcast, like Love and Respect. Actually, just Love and Respect.
Yeah.
No more Glenny.
You just knocked out everyone's chance to be involved.
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
Now they can just be angry at us for the Desire Index,
I can-
which everyone can
yes.
be involved in.
I'm wondering if I should get them involved. It is just gonna make everybody way saltier about the Desire Index.
Please do.
Yeah, we gotta. I think we gotta involve them somehow.
There's no way to go up with the Desire Index.
Yeah.
We can only go down.
Here's what it is. Okay, I just thought of it. Here's what it is. Every week, I will ask our patrons how badly we did last week. So it's like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did we f up? And if it's a 9 or more, we have to redo
The
what we
reception
did.
index of the
Yes.
Desire
The
Index.
reception index.
The perception index, I think, is even better.
Yeah, we'll think of something.
Their perception of our perception.
You did a bad job.
It goes back into the scene.
And once again, Glenny's Cauldron Jam. Look for it on Google if you want to make a game for Glenny's Cauldron Jam. If you just want to like help somebody out, if you want to, if you can do a voice or make music or do sprite work or whatever.
Shout out to everybody getting involved in that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out.
The deadline approaches. If you are making a game and you're not
If you.
quite getting there, maybe we'll extend it. I don't really want to, but you know, we might have to. Right, if it's like 2 games are done and like if 5 people are still working on one, we give them a
Hey,
nudge.
what's a worse feature in a game than being unfinished?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's got to be vile. They basically, Glennie gets off on somebody playing her game but having a bad time. The second you quit the game, you win. It's like the power dynamics Damiani's talking
Right.
about. Glennie loves having that power.
She wants to keep you in it.
Yes. And
Was it power balance?
yeah, I
Power
forget what he
dynamics?
said.
Balance.
Damiani
Power.
wouldn't give Glennie the
Yeah.
satisfaction of telling Glennie the game is bad.
Yes, exactly. And
Just
so
nod at the end of the appointment, walk out.
I did make that
Throw
clear
up
on the
into a
actual
garbage
game
can.
jam. It's like, hey, don't make like a bad game that sucks. Like make a game that's still fun enough to keep us playing.
Yes.
Because if it's
Despite the flaw.
Like
yeah,
Anthem.
Yeah. Like Anthem.
Nobody kept playing Anthem.
Dude, my entire perception of E3 has changed.
Because of Damiani.
Power balance, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not here
Yeah.
to be your QA.
Yeah.
Just imagine just like, so what'd you think? Damiani wordlessly walks out.
We know there are problems. Tell us what they are. Just shouting and walking down the road.
You just hear
By himself.
easyallies.com.
Damiani is like the J.K. Simmons character from Whiplash, where he's like, the most dangerous words in the English language are "good job."
Wow. This is a good podcast. Jones,
Yeah.
you have won the right and responsibility to share your Twitter handle with the world. You get to promote any Easy Allies video you would like to promote. You get to sign off with your trademark sign off, and you get the final word on anything you've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped in your head at this moment.
You can follow me at Trailer Jones. Because I got him right here, I would like to tell everybody to go check out the E3 2019 episode of Humor Syndrome. I got a big kick out of it. I thought, again, no slight to Easy update, Ian, but like I just
Feels bad. His numbers are higher.
nice.
I
But
had a day head start.
That's true. You had a head start.
but it just
Mysterious Monsters
it
also.
just always, I mean, I will give credit to both episodes because it just you get there at the conference, we're talking about all of our impressions, you have the press conferences, there's just so many things that qualify as quote unquote E3, and it's so nice to come back and finally be resting and be like, oh right, Syndrome, Easy Update, and just queuing those up, and like, man, that Syndrome just put a huge smile on my face. So I thought it was really great to get that vibe, to get you running around to each of these booths, the confidence to just run up to somebody in a Final Fantasy VII remake line and be like, are you excited? Like you never know. Somebody's gonna be like, leave me alone. I'm not,
We had those out.
We had those out. We had them out.
Yeah, we cut those out.
So
we do
there
have
were a
those.
couple.
I've seen it. I've seen it happen.
dare
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Some
yeah.
people, some people, I invade their space a little too
Not
much.
feeling it. Get in
And
that
they
bubble.
Just, they just keep walking.
You gotta know.
Hey,
Hey,
Yep.
Usually it's
no harm, no
just
foul. Happy three.
Yeah.
they prefer not to be on camera.
Yeah.
You know?
And I have a final word that just popped into my head.
Ooh.
Yeah. I want Anaconda Lockhart. I want Anaconda Lockhart, who's a hunter in out in the outback. I want a new show, kind of like Bear Grylls. He just goes out, welcome to survive in the outback. I'm Anaconda Lockhart. We'll see what I manage to chop up with my machete and cook for dinner tonight. That one's free, Xbox, if you just want to make that happen. Some kind of limited series leading up to it, maybe some behind-the-scenes thing. We're out here talking SSDs with this Xbox employee. I'm Anaconda Lockhart. We'll be back here live next week. That one's for free, Xbox. Cheers. What I'm not a humongous fan of is Final Fantasy VII. What I am a huge fan of is marketing campaigns.
Sexy.